about culture. Today is World Culture Day. Earlier, we spoke with the Commissioner for Culture, Tourism, and Diaspora Affairs, Osaze Osangi-Ero. He spoke glowingly about what has been done to sustain current awareness in culture. And then we went a little bit deeper with squadron leader Ehi Igile, who is the president of Benin Heritage Center. And of course, we know his perspectives on issues as it relates to culture. But there is also a dimension of culture which has grown in recent times. Squadron leader Igile said a while ago that has also helped to bridge the gap in terms of telling our own story from our own perspectives. And one man who has been in the business of doing that for such a long time is our cultural ambassador, is an exponent, someone we appreciate so much in the movie industry. I'd like to thank very specially Lancelot Udua Emaswen, who is here live with us in the studio, frontline movie producer, director. Thanks again for coming on the show. Well, this is our third meeting together in the last 3 days. Yeah. This is the third one.
Right.
And they've all been very eventful, from Uromi to Benin and then to ITV studios. Right. Okay, let's talk in line with policy initiatives as it relates to culture, and then of course using movies, film, to drive the message of culture. Where are we?
Well, I think the last document, as it comes, the Nigerian film policy, was last looked into about 1991, if I'm not mistaken, 1991, where
in 2018 now.
2018. That's the reality of where we are as a people. And each time we say, you know what? The policymakers, those saddled with the responsibility of pushing us further in this business, they've not actually been doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
We cannot go further discussing this without looking at what is obtainable in other climes.
Okay.
You see, like when I was shooting Invasion 1897, the beat that was shot in London, we shot inside the borough, the council, the courthouse, the school, the museum was inside the what we call a local government headquarters in Woolwich. I said, a local government owns this structure, everything is there, we paid for it 5,700 pounds to have it used for a location and all that. Then you see that the policy encourages development of arts and every other sector, from the wards to the local government, the state, and the federal. So these are the things that are lacking here, where somebody comes, he's a medical doctor, they will tell you that his excuse for not developing other areas because that's not his area of interest. It's so laughable. Oh, this governor came. It is because his area is...
that wasn't his priority.
It wasn't priority.
Yeah.
A government, a governor, a president, once he is declared winner and is sworn in, is now must prioritize every area that will further development, be it sports, be it arts, be it medicine, be it roads and infrastructure, be it agriculture, because all of these parts forms the whole. When you say the society is moving, when you say there is progress, you must be able to say, okay, there is a policy thrust in this area that develops Igun to become a world tourism site. That is already an acclaimed world tourism site. What have we been able? Or the local government can contribute to doing that. Can we make it a walk street? No vehicle comes in again, no whatever. So that people can just have the fun of moving from the beginning of the street. These are all product of policies. Now let's look at if you watch within our area here, live stage acting, presentation, production is completely dead.
From theater.
Theater is dead. And these are supposed to be the responsibility of local government when the policies are right. It's supposed to be the responsibility of local government too, because there are human beings whose existence and livelihood can be gotten from that. So a local government chairman comes to tell you that no, that is not his priority. Meanwhile, there are a few of his constituents, of his people, whose livelihood is tied to that. So this is where we are right now. That each area in our national development has not been able, or we have the national cultural policy. Now let me tell you, as far as the movie development is concerned in Nigeria, the foreign movies comes, swallow it up. We brought a film here called Black Panther. Black Panther did not do any advert on ITV. Black Panther did not do any, much of billboards like we would do for indigenous people. Practically beg our people to come see.
Yeah.
But because there's no policy thrust, where government said deliberately there must be encouragement for the development of locally produced films. Are you going to go to Aba? Like the government then is trying to say, okay, made in Aba goods. Why would they not be proud to say made in Aba? They put this sticker there. They will produce a very high quality show in Aba. They go and buy stickers made in Italy and put it there.
And people
reason is that our people do not know how to appreciate our own. This is squarely the business of government. To reorient continuously, bringing out policies that will encourage domestic development of these products as against foreign. Some government can say, okay, films in the cinema must be 20% foreign, 80% local. Okay, these are incentives that will be given to the cinema structure owners, because this is where they get their high volume from. Government gives them some level of incentives to encourage the development of locally produced work. Because, my brother, there is no basis for any comparison. You look at a story like Black Panther. What is the difference between that and Invasion 1897? The difference is that that one was about $200 million in production. $200 million in production compared to Invasion 1897, that we cannot say, okay, yes, we spent $200,000. So this is the thing. And these are, from my own perspective, the business of government to put together policy papers, call the heads, call the practitioners. How can we advance this?
The Black Panther that you talked about is private sector driven.
It is.
Yeah.
The environment was made first conducive for the private man to invest that much. And they are very sure that they're going to make it. This is not about coming to cry wolf. This is not about coming to say government must do everything. No. It must first and foremost, every sector, be it agriculture, be it infrastructural development, be it medicine, be it trade and commerce, be it manufacturing, government must give direction. Government. There are two most important G's in the whole world: God and government. So are you not going to say, okay, why we were discussing that day, the proliferation of churches, all manners of characters, wanting to be pastors, they're taking advantage of failure of government. So they now try to now say God. That is why I tell everybody that prayers are more answered, easily answered, because the Bible says that cleanliness is next to godliness. My brother, let us be realistic. An angel cannot come and dwell on those streets, but you have fields everywhere. So for you to penetrate God here, you have to shout and shout and shout and shout to get his attention. Meanwhile, a man in Switzerland, a man in Germany, while he's yet thinking of an idea, maybe the next man passing by, because the environment physically is conducive. What's the difference between abroad and here? It's the environment. When you once you step out of the airport, you go to the street, you see where consciously men made effort to create an environment that while you are just thinking of an idea, the angel passing by probably takes you back. Yeah. Meanwhile, they can't just come here. They'll be hovering on the sky because the fields at is it in Lagos? Is it in Port Harcourt? Is it in Crossfire? You see fields. How come government has not been able to handle that? Yeah. People carry debt from their house and put on the road. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable.
Well, but we can't put all of this squarely at the doorsteps of government. The people also have a responsibility that someone will carry debts and filth and put it deliberately on the pavement or on the street, on the gutter. That's not government.
Can I shock you? Is it not now possible? I was coming from Lagos some days ago. I passed through Uselu Market. I was amazed that the distance between the road and the market is quite enormous. But some time passed. The traders get to the road.
They're on the road.
Did they take cane and started flogging them? Government. The most powerful institution. My brother, the time we start getting government right, things are not as difficult as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Art will not suffer. Landlord will not be shouting whas all of the time. Other sectors, other areas. Even corruption we are talking about now, my brother, corruption can be nipped in his bud. It's not about chasing after. That's my personal opinion. Chasing after, oh, this man has stolen. No. You can make it impossible. I'll give you an experience. I went to America to buy cameras. I put money in my account. So I went to my banker. I said, okay, give me $10,000. The guy is from Puerto Rico. He's not like me. He Googled my name. I said, oh my God, you're such a big filmmaker. You know what he told me? Don't put $10,000 once.
What are you talking about? It's my money.
He said, no. He said, immediately you put $10,000 once. He said, put 9,000. Government has set a benchmark. Once you put 10,000 from an account,
they will trace
IRS will get a notification that a certain individual has. What is he going to do with
$10,000
cash
at once?
At once. Institution. When we say Nigeria, we have strong men. There are no strong institutions. When Obama came to Ghana, he said the problem of Africa is about strong individuals, and there are no strong institutions. What the government of Muhammad Buhari needs to build is building an institution where it becomes impossible for an individual to hit an alert of 200 million in an account, and the whole city didn't shake. This is what we're talking about. It has to be institutionalized by government. Every area of our life needs to be directed by government. I just made an example about the all powerfulness of government. That would you ever believe that Ring Road
will be cleared?
I told you there was traffic from Saplero to the other. We went through Akokaba. We said no, that Johnson Akokaba, there will be traffic. Okay, let's reverse and pass through Ring Road. And true to prediction, we were able to drive through Ring Road without any problem. Government, the political will, the forthrightness, the availability of information, of a consensus desire by government to say this thing we have to get it done. When local government is the chairman have been considered, we say the national film policy stipulates that every local government in Nigeria must have a cinema screen viewing center to encourage local consumption. My brother, Edo language movie used to be the fourth largest producer of film in Nigeria, in Hollywood. After English, Yoruba, Hausa, it was Edo even before Igbo. Reason why the Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board brought their donor office to Benin. What is happening now? That is almost a dead. Do you know how many people have lost their jobs, lost their means of livelihood, that have been forced into the Libya desert journey because that sector failed? So it must be the business of government to make sure that every sector survives and stands on its own.
Okay. Just before we call it a wrap, Lance, it's always a delight to have you here. I called Igile a cultural activist. I'm just wondering now what would be the best way to describe it.
That's what I come. I'm a cultural activist.
Okay, let's look at culture and movies. To what extent have we successfully bridged the gap in terms of the narratives about our culture, about us as a people, using the platform of movies?
Not much, because again, the blame squarely rests with government. The Nigerian film industry is purely a private initiative driven by private individuals. For the record, I want to say thank you to the Edo State governor who recently wrote me a commendation letter. It's the first time in years, after my 23 years of practice.
No, you can take that to the bank. I mean, take that to any bank and cash it.
So I want to say thank you to
take it to any bank and cash it.
The governor for that, and it became a major moral booster. And it pointed out some things there. You become a cultural icon, and the fact that you are driving a sector that will become a major player as far as job creation is concerned. That was really endearing to me, and I have it glassed and sent it all over my social media, getting congratulatory messages and all of that. You see, basically, that question still will fall down to government. We want to be able to meet with all of the local government chairmen that those states. Okay, this is the policy. This is government policy. The film policy is stipulate that every local government must have
a viewing center.
A viewing center for film, for the development. Where a sound language film needs to develop. Now we have started cinema there, a world-class cinema facility put in that kind of a place. It must be encouraged. If that place fails, government fails. That initiative fails, government fails. Because there are basic information, cultural inclusiveness, cultural reawakening and reorientation that can be passed using that facility to do that. So here, because government has not really invested, you can take this to the bank too.
Yeah.
Government, not in Edo State, not in anywhere in Nigeria, except in Lagos.
Yeah.
Lagos just sent a delegate, a contingent to the Cannes Film Festival, where Lagos State was further projected. We want all other state government. We want a film commission. Or so those beautiful locations in Edo State that have not been exploited can become. We want to make, we say Edo Rising. We want to make Edo State and Benin City in particular a production hub. And once government deliberately invests, let's leave politics aside.
Okay.
When government deliberately invests in the development of this area, they can say, okay, now let us begin to think about national consciousness. Okay. Let us begin to talk about our culture. What we have seen are private individuals that are like Lancelot and several of my colleagues, Kabata Saibon, John Pedro Basaki, a lot of others, Billy King, Pedro Kao, a lot of them here, Francis Osunde, Meimaso, a lot of people that are just passionate on their own, and names that I cannot mention, that have used the business of art, film, to project our culture. And its reach knows no bounds.
Yeah.
Like the Edo language movies, a girl had met me in Atlanta. I said, I left Benin when I was 8 years old.
Wow.
I'm 34. I've never returned back. I started learning to speak the language using the instrumentality of the motion picture of your films that I've seen. I was shocked to hear some testimony.
Wow.
That I go to buy film because they are subtitles.
That's
where I'm taking to
learn words, learn language, learn names.
Is done. So we can. You see a lot. Even in Benin, yeah, you see adult women, men. I don't know how to speak. So we can and we should continuously. Before we made invasion 1897, the narrative as far as what the event of 1897 was purely from the perspective of Europeans.
Yes.
But right now, when you Google Benin 1897, you are going to see two versions. That was as a result of the ingenuity of an individual.
Yeah.
So you know what? Professor Laro Timi has written about this, and Yoruba man. Professor Ameyerima from ESACO, he has written about it, but there's no narrative on the global space from the man where his house, the thing happened. We made invasion in 1897. I'm on my way to a country now where the film is used to celebrate 58 years of the African Union.
AU.
Of AU. Yeah. The film is going to be screened. So this is what we are talking about, that the rich, using the instrumentality of arts and culture, especially movies, cannot be oversight. The issue of job creation As for reviving the totality of theatrical practice, there's no way you can even go on stage plays here. We have to revive Imagweo to become a place people can go to in the evening and what like the transmitting and transferring of our cultural belief to the generation unborn, or even these ones that
younger generation
that are completely lost out of the reality that is on ground. Look at, we are going to say people are not interested in our culture. Look at the coronation of the Oba of Benin. Look at the people that thronged the street, wanted to catch a glimpse of the Oba walking all the road
streets and all that.
That was unbelievable. But there are people that think, oh, our culture is dead. Our culture, no, that was a rejuvenation. And how much did we key into that monumental, once in a lifetime experience? How much did we key into it to sell our tourism, to sell what we are doing? That's why we keep commending this present Arts and Culture Commissioner. His doggedness, his commitment to revive the totality. That's what we are giving the support that we can. Wherever he calls, we are running there. It's not because they can fund our bill or whatever, but we are very passionate about what that guy is trying to do. And he has my salute. Of course, this government is giving him the support, the room. Let's say room now to operate. So,
all right, thank you, Lancelot, for your time. Of course, it's always a delight each time Lancelot is here for us to explore some of the issues as it relates to culture, hospitality, movies, films, you just name it. They are all intertwined. And interestingly, looking backwards, we have all of them right here. All we need to do is to have the right people in the right position, and then the rest is history. Just like what he said, talking about the Commissioner for Arts, Culture, and Diaspora Affairs. I mean, every opportunity that he has to project and promote culture, he wants to do it.